Okay, back. Boy. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Oh. Oh. Who's a good boy? Look at that pretty little face. Oh my goodness. Ooh. Oh my god. I gotta wake the fuck up. Wake the fuck up. Yeah, especially today. I think I got something that can easily grind my fucking gears. To make sure that this morning's fun. Mainly with Shoehead being a dumb bitch. There we go. But I'm sure having a little bit back and forth about that would be okay. It'd be hunky. Ugh. Is my brain awakened? No. Have you woken up yet? No? Fuck. Not yet. What about this side of the brain? Kind of. So I got one chunk of the brain that's kind of awake. There we go. No. There we go. Cool. Probably want that on. Ugh. Oh my god! The yawning. Why? I don't want to hear all that. Hey, boy. What? Who's the buddy? Who's just a sweet boy, huh? You a good boy? He's looking all happy, all sweet like. He always does that to me, so hilarious. He just stares at me, giving me this cute little smile. It's adorable. Oh my god. Should probably attempt to make sure the brain is forced awake by putting substances in its head. Substances in the brain will make it get surely awake. Probably not, but whatever. Probably not, but whatever. Dun, 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 dun. Definitely make sure I have some of this other stuff ready to go. Cool. Wait, what the fuck? CNN reported to fire prominent hosts. Well, CNN's going down the drain. Not that it already was, but if you're gonna fire your prominent like hosts and shit on your broadcasting corporation, like CNN, you're fucked up. Yeah, CNN reported to fire prominent hosts of their broadcasting corporations. Like, well, they are not gonna last forever. See, I'm guessing the idea is to probably have new, fresh faces. Like, that's gonna work. Like, that's gonna work. Hey, what's up? What's up? Not directly, but I got a bone to pick a fucking shoe on it, not even gonna lie. They're being fired out of the cannon? I hope. I mean, I hope that's the idea. I doubt it. They're gonna fire their prominent hosts out of a cannon for Pride Month or something. Honestly, if they actually did that, even though it would still be PR virtue signaling and all that bullshit, at least it'd be kind of fun looking. You'd be like, oh shit, we're watching Glandis and Booper, fucking good old Cooper himself, get launched out of a cannon. Dude, how would it feel like to get launched out of one of those fucking things? I don't even want to know, dude. Shit, that shit looks too intense. Too intense for me, bro. Too intense for me. Oh my god, I'm actually trying to comprehend that in my brain, like visually, like popping out a thing, light, you know, like you kind of get blind by the light because you're in that dark funneled tube, and then you just like look around and you're just watching the world just like, for a minute, get higher and fucking like faster, like as you, no, fuck that. Launching out of a cannon, yeah, no. No, we're not doing that. Can we launch these weird fucking people that want to incite the LGBT as groomers? That's fucking, it's fucking like pedophiles and shit. Can we launch them out of cannons? Because I saw it, honestly, just literally vindicating everything I feel about people like Shoehead specifically. But I saw Dia Mama release a video yesterday or not yesterday, but today, that actually made me feel so fucking vindicated. Because I don't watch Shoe really, but I do like get radioactive like remnants from her because of everyone else, like other people that will react and see her stupid shit. And it's literally especially like since maybe, I don't know, 2017 or some shit, there's literally been like this split of like, if I hear some shit about her, then it's always some dumb fuck shit. Like her being some tradcon conservative, or how like, oh, the gays are a little too icky. Last time I paid attention to she was the armor skeptic. You wanna know what's funny? That she acts like a tradcon, but if you go through at any point within their relationship that those two had, they were essentially an open 24/7 BDSM relationship. Like full on, like they were partners, but they had like extra stuff going on, like, yeah, we're a BDSM couple. Like, we're not just a couple. Like, I mean, so straight up, like, this fucking harlot wants to be all like, oh, you know, there's some weird stuff and I'm being gaslit and all this and that because these gays, they were getting a little too pedophilic for me. I mean, it's literally what she fucking thinks. Like, let me go find this video. Because it goes through some of her stupid fucking tweets. And apparently she literally outright, like, deleted a good chunk of them because she knows she's a fucking moron and a dumb bitch. So, she deleted a good fat chunk of them, especially the ones that are actually kind of, A little saucy, I should say. It's a coffee. What are you doing? Ugh. Hey. Hey. We don't need none of that. But, yeah, and also, like, fucking... It seems like every goddamn Pride Month that happens every year, I'm always hearing about her stupid shit. Not really just her, but just fucking the same tradcon, like, oh, I'm progressive. Or, yeah, I'm fucking a leftist and shit like that. When she literally isn't. At all. And these type of people aren't at all. Like, there's, like, she literally openly calls herself, like, an American nationalist or something like that. She, like, actually does see herself, like, yeah, I'm kind of patriotic about the country and stuff like that, blah, blah, blah. And, yeah, and honestly, frankly, that only works well for people on the right, not the left. So, strike one, strike two. Like, oh, the queer liberation movement, especially during Pride Month. Oh, yeah, well... I don't want kids going to literally some casual-ass drag queen show or something that took place at an ice cream parlor where everyone was fully clothed and there was literally nothing wrong going on whatsoever. Literally nothing wrong. You literally see more, like, titty and ass at a fucking Hooters or a beach. Hell, just walking downtown somewhere in your local city or some shit, you'll see more titty and ass than that fucking drag show ever even, like, remotely got close to revealing. And there's also a hyper focus because it was at an ice cream parlor that one of the signs says it's not going to lick itself. And considering that it's an ice cream parlor, that's literally something you would probably see at an ice cream parlor. It's like, yeah, that ice cream won't lick itself. Like, come and get our ice cream cones. Duh. It's like, people are fucking stupid, and these same type of people literally enable a lot of the more Nazi fucking talking points of shit about how all the gays are pedophiles or shit. Like, there's literally a Nazi talking point. Like, fucking Nazis were using that shit to justify their genocide against the LGBT in Germany. In Europe, abroad, really. Like, Ernst Röhm. Like, I mean, there was literally a strong element within the Nazi party that was legit outright homophobic, well, yes, homophobic, but that was actually homosexual. Like, there were legitimately prominent people within the Nazi party that were homosexuals. And, of course, you know, people like Hitler and a lot of other Nazis and more traditional conservative fascists saw that as a detriment. So, people like Shu use talking points, you know, as if that they are, you know, a part of that. Or at least, oh, they're not, but there's just some people that are. Which helps justify and enable a lot of that same type of fucking talking point. Line along. Yeah, Krishnacht. That was more so against Jews, though. That was specifically a target against the Semitic, like, Jewish people that were in fucking Germany. That wasn't inherently against people who were queer. Though I guarantee you there were targets of it, too. As they were for the entire fucking regime. Let me pull it up. Whoa, that's a little loud. Whoa! I somehow clicked another thing? Get out of here. Other thing that I didn't mean to click. I kind of like the little beat that Dear Mama has for the beginning of her intros.
We have to talk about a little bit of nonsense that happened on the internet, don't we? Oh my god!
Oh my god!
Many of you already know. Many of you already know I got involved in a little bit
I forgot my drink. I'm not gonna get it right now. Fuck it.
Drama. Okay, on the internet, and it may have...
Glad I'm not on Twitter anymore, honestly, now that I think about it, because Jesus Christ, especially during Pride Month, I'd be going off on some motherfuckers. Because I'm sick of the discourse every goddamn year by these same type of fucking alt-right chuds and chuckle fucking tradcons and shit, dude. I'm so sick of these Puritans.
did do a little bit of discoursing. Yeah, I did. And this time, it was worth it. See...
Yes. Honestly, like, I mean, in some cases it actually can be, especially when calling out these fucking morons. Frankly, that's kind of the weird double-edged sword about it. It's like, on one hand, I mean, dismissing them is better, but confronting them is also, you know, better in its own way. And frankly, especially when it comes to people like Shu who supposedly are pro-LGBT, but yet will do this stupid shit like, oh, well, I don't want drag queens or like, you know, these pride events and stuff to be all like too gay now and all that shit. It's like, no. I mean, you're just inherently being homophobic at that point, and or, you know, transphobic, depending on what the fucking scenario is entailing for the pride event. And just like, meh, boo, I don't like it. Get back in the closet. It's like, at that point, how are you that much different between, you know, these other traditional conservative fucks? Like, seriously. Because at that point, I mean, the only difference is you're not saying that they ought to be criminalized or, like, you know, outright fucking second-class citizens, but but they still ought to know their place.
Time and a place. I did do just a little bit of discourse, but I feel like it was for a very, very good reason. And in fact, an ally from beyond our community came to have my back, which was cool. Thank you, Vosh, thank you to the Voshites and the Vimps for backing me up on this one.
Are they actually fucking, like, is Vosh actually starting to take more of a stand on this? Because, frankly, I remember last year where he was a lot more on Shu's position about this. So is he actually being more firm on this issue? Well, no pun intended. I mean, is he being a little bit more firm and stern on the issue? Because if so, then good. Considering he's a pansexual queer person who is very promiscuous himself, I mean, he shouldn't be standing for this shit.
You know, let's do a little bit of drama, puff, you know, popcorn for you all to enjoy at the very beginning. We're not making anything huge out of this. I just want to go over my thread and what I was arguing and why I was...
Just gotta get to the juicies.
No!
Because I think I initially got deleted or some shit and she had to find it again. I know it pops up, though.
From the inside of was literally the tamest thing you could possibly imagine. It was literally fully clothed drag queens who were just walking up and down a catwalk with some music. Fully clothed drag queens? They must be pedophiles. They just must be a bunch of goddamn groomers, tell you what there, brother. And it was a family audience. There was no nudity. There was no sexual dancing. I saw one performer do a split.
That's sexual though. That's sexual though. It's not like you don't see the splits like literally anywhere else, like, you know, any other dance recitals or like high school cheerleaders and shit like that. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, dead ass, like, I mean, dancing and shit like that, including but not limited to splits and stuff, is literally something that, like, kids do.
And of course,
is dancing suddenly not like a kid thing anymore? Or at least, you know, like, I mean, it can be an adult or a kid thing, but it's just like, what, can kids not dance anymore? Or are they not allowed to partake in such events?
You see, there was a very...
It just starts getting stupid once they, you know, like, once they claim the shit that they do. It's like, oh my god, there's children at a fully clothed drag show that's totally harmless. It's like, really? Would you say the same for a public beach where there's going to be a lot of people wearing bikinis and, like, you know, briefs and shorts and shit like that? Or, you know, a fucking Hooters where they have kids menus, by the way? And, like, I mean, just, honestly, like, it goes down the fucking list. Like, the fucking, fashion industry advertisements left and fucking right, whether they're magazines, public billboards, TV, like, seriously. Like, when it comes to sex and adult themes and shit, you see fundamentally far more of it in just everyday society than frankly, any of these goddamn fucking pride shows or pride events, ever. Outside of places like maybe Folsom Pride or some shit, which are explicitly sexual. I mean, unless you're going to those ones, I mean, frankly, just everyday common shit around you that is outside of this shit is inherently more sexual.
is that on
and honestly, the fact that like, you know, these type of people would, you know, like the first thing that comes in their minds when it comes to these pride events is sexualization says more about those fucking people more than the people partaking in the actual event that's family friendly.
Was a sign, okay? And I'm gonna show you what this sign looked like, okay? By the way, like the stream if you're here, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. We need the likes. Can't remember if I did that already, okay? I'm gonna show you.
I'll do it for this video. Because it's actually a good one.
Hold on, just a second. And I might actually even be able to find the original post.
Here, she does a little bit here. I'll skip a second. Here. Oh, there it is.
Drag show was at, right?
Ah! Get back to
the
it.
Back.
So, by the way, that's the fucking, like, a sign that was at the drag show. At the ice cream parlor. Is it because it's pink? It's because it's pink? It suddenly implies, female genderization, not gonna lick itself, implying that, you know, pink, women, sexualization, meh. I guarantee you that's probably the thought process to it. No consideration if it's an ice cream parlor or not.
That this, drag show was at, right? So people were freaking out because they're like, they're sexualizing children! This is a child rape ring! Is basically what they were saying. They basically just freaked the fuck out. And, of course, Shoe on Head didn't explicitly say there was child rape going on. However, she did say, I'm tired of being gaslighted that something like this is okay, with a picture of a very tame drag show with this neon sign in the background. Now, as it turns out, the location of this drag show was at an ice cream parlor. Or rather, I should say, a place that sells ice cream from a brand that literally mass produces and sells the "it's not gonna lick itself" ice cream neon sign. So, while it is a bit
So it's really just an ice cream commercialized fucking brand. It's not even just simple as like, oh, an ice cream parlor just set it up in their little shop. It's like literally a fucking brand thing. It's literally a brand.
That sign belonged to the ice cream company.
I guarantee you, like, that fucking, like literally no one has ever, if anyone was even aware of this fucking shit, of the sign, or, like, this ice cream parlor, or just the brand itself prior to this shit, I guarantee you they gave no fucks about this type of, verbiage about it at all. Where it's like, it's not gonna lick itself? Well, yeah, of course, it's an ice cream brand. Oh, wait, it's at a drag show now? That's where it's taking place? What? An ice cream parlor with a drag show? Boo! It's now sexual. It's now grooming kids.
Was served at the venue. At a venue that...
It's why I get honest. It's why I honestly think, to a degree, just dismissing and fucking just insulting the outer fucking right shit of these, to these type of people is more manageable in my mind. It's like you actually fucking think that this is going on and shit, and which, if anything, is incentivizing and enabling the Christo-fascists who are already prior to this fucking month, because honestly, to them, it doesn't matter whether it's a Pride Month or not when it comes to grooming or, queer people and shit. When it comes to trying to oppress them, they don't give a fuck. So this idea that, like, oh, we need to try to, like, not make it too sexual during the Pride Month thing, it's like, no. It's like, go fuck yourself. Like, frankly, honestly, even if there was maybe one or two people at the event that was a little bit more sexualized in comparison to everybody else, I still would not give a fuck. It's like, because you think that children are going to be just hyper-focused on those people? No. Because they're kids. They're not thinking about that shit. They see stuff that's quirky and colorful, and they're interested in it. Wow, go figure. It's as if kids, tend to be attracted to very colorful, interesting things that they don't normally see on a daily basis.
It was a venue that was being used for a family-friendly show. So, on a surface, it's like, well, okay, so that's that seems a little weird, right? Why would you spread that misinformation? Well, of course it went a lot.
Because you're a traditional conservative who actually wants gays and LGBT and other queer people to be in the closet. That's why. Because fucking people like Shulahead are just fucking homophobic and they're transphobic and shit. Like, as much as they want to say that they're not, and they're being gaslit, it's like, fuck you. No, you're not, you stupid bitch. It's like, you just are. Just be honest with yourself. You're an American nationalist who's a fucking homophobic bigot. That's just who the fuck you are. You want gays to be in the closet. You want queer people to be in the fucking closet. You don't want them holding hands or being too sexual or kissing out in public and shit, because think of the children. The same thing these fascists fucking cry about. Same ones that fucking lynch and kill people like Matthew Shepard, by the way. And plenty of other goddamn names that, are probably like, the list of that shit's probably fucking endless. Probably, the list's probably still growing these days. Especially when it comes to trans people or non-binary folk.
Including...
But, I'm being gaslit, everybody. Look at me, I'm kind of cute, so please, like me.
Community of Trojan horsing pedophiles into the mainstream, which I think is absolutely ridiculous and is borderline Nazi rhetoric.
No, it is. It just is.
Poured by Shoe on Head.
Like, and literally, fucking Nazis and fascists, not even during just Nazi regime, but afterwards, when they all spread out and went to other fucking countries and shit, and went to places like Argentina, Colombia, America, so on and so forth, and started gaining influence and some power there, and got inside with a lot of the fucking far right within these countries and shit, and started espousing the same shit. Like, I mean, it just is. Like, and frankly, a lot of these fucking Nazis never really went away and shit. If anything, now they're just growing again. So it just is. This is an outright fucking Nazi talking point. Like, oh, the gays are a bunch of pedophiles or groomers and shit. It just is. It's a fervently outright Naziistic, fascistic talking point. It just outright is.
That, by the way,
because it means that there must be a question and a final solution in order to deal with it, because obviously pedophilia is such a strong immoral harm, towards society, right? Especially when it comes to kids, which generally is a very true thing. I even agree with that. But it's just like, when it comes to their ideas, they seem to want to lump in an entire group of people and have a more permanent solution to the problem. And it seems like, just shoving them in the closets is the least of their concerns. But at least in this country, they actually really can't necessarily openly do that because they know they wouldn't be able to get away with it. So they have to basically do everything else but, camps.
Was some IRL occurrences that happened that make the context of shitting on a random drag show based on literal fake news. It makes it even worse. So real quick, and I apologize in advance. Giant trigger warning, real quick. I know y'all are pretty strong about this. Oh, maybe she just nuked all the engagements. Here's the main thread. Yeah, here we go. Here, we can look at the main thread. Here's the original thread. I don't like being gaslit about how totally not weird this is.
Drag the kids to Pride. Yeah, that's the name of the fucking event. Oh my god, get fucked, seriously. Like, there's literally a bike ride pride event in Portland on Friday called Intoxicated. And the whole idea is that you're actually not, it's a 21 over thing, but you're not drinking. It's, it's basically like you're going to be having, courage via the pride aspect versus, the, alcohol aspect. It's kind of a weird little quirky thing, and it's weird, but still, who gives a fuck? Like, what, an event name can't be, kind of witty to what the main theme of it is? If it's a drag show, then yeah, let's have the name of the event tied to, well, the drag queens that are going to be a part of it. So, drag the kids to Pride. Family-friendly event with some drag queens and shit. Thus the name. Get fucked, Sean, you stupid traditionalist conservative bitch.
150 follower event, an event made by a 150 follower account. This tiny venue where a lady is just dancing, and there's literally windows outside. You can literally see these windows over here.
It looks like they're just having little game events. It looks like this is
with the thread. Excellent, thank you.
I'm not seeing anything wrong with anything here at all.
Appreciate that.
I'm actually struggling to find some shit wrong with this. Like, I mean, it looks like these kids are playing a game here, like the fucking, like the seat game and shit, where there's like, you know, one extra person for the seats and all that. Or whatever the fuck.
Appreciate that a lot.
I forgot the name of it. Like, what? Is it called, like,
Yeah!
Is it called, like, singing chairs or something? I forgot the name of it.
Yeah, Gay Fesh. Yes! Now we can have the whole thing! Gay Fesh comes in! Fuck yeah!
Oh shit, there's even more to it. Oh, is that the splits? Was that the splits that were mentioned there? And for fuck's sake, she's like totally clothed. Like, unironically, you literally will see more, like, skin and more, like, revealingness on a person at a beach. Dead ass. Like, what? Like, so, okay, like, I could kind of, like, so I could kind of look, and she's wearing, like, one of those, like, one-piece bodysuit things, and then, like, some leggings and some, like, arm socks and shit. Like, she's, like, barely revealing shit. Like, what? Like 5 inches, like, you know, of some thigh and maybe, like, some toes and, like, a little bit of shoulder blade. Like, get fucked, you stupid traditionalists. You moral, prude, Puritan fucking fascists. Get fucked. If people take Sean Head seriously, this dumb cunt.
Here we go. So it started with this. Freems, a small, medium-sized Twitch streamer, said, "Don't take your kids to drag shows."
And, oh wow, this is literally a Hooters. That's a picture of a fucking Hooters. Because guess what? They unironically have kids menus. Because, yeah, like, I mean, no shit, they're going to. Like, I mean, just, like, the whole idea of Hooters is that it has a theme to it, but it's still a fucking restaurant. Like, I mean, and yeah, there's gonna be people that take their kids there because, well, hey, if their kids gotta eat, well, they're gonna eat. So it's like, well, hey, might as well go to Hooters. Look it. I mean, what, do you think just, you know, the titillation is the only thing Hooters has got going for itself? Are we fucking kidding me?
Right?
I've actually never been there. There used to be one growing up around here, but it shut down, I think, just due to, you know, lack of service, I'm assuming. You know, just downsizing, because I know they don't have that many chains anymore, or at least that, like, many restaurants anymore. But I think they have, like, a little over 700 now. But either way, like, I remember growing up and, you know, going past it and shit, but I've never been to one. But it's just like, frankly, like, I mean, it doesn't matter. Like, I honestly assume it's just like any other restaurant. It just has a specific theme, just kind of like, you know, Applebee's or Red Robin or Outback Steakhouse or whatever the fuck. They all have like a little theme behind their restaurants and shit, whether a big brand or otherwise. I mean, it's just like every fucking place like has this when it comes to the food industry. Like every single goddamn, like from fast food, you know, to more quality, higher mainstream brands and shit. Like, you know, when it comes to like, you know, steakhouses or restaurants versus, you know, like fast food like McDonald's and shit, they all have a theme to it. They all got a little, like, you know, some theme, you know, that they sit with, you know, and Hooters has theirs. So it's just like, what is this nonsense?
And then Shu said, "Yeah, I agree. That's also pretty weird. Your turn."
So she also thinks that's weird because she's a traditionalist conservative fucking moron. She doesn't like anything that's like even remotely close to like sexualization, even if it isn't like Hooters. Because yeah, there might be, you know, to some minor sexualization because it is like some titillation, I guess, that you get for the theme of the fucking restaurant or whatever the fuck. But I mean, if your kids go in there, they frankly probably don't give a fuck. They're just wondering how good the chicken tendies are with the ketchup. Like, seriously, like, that's the one thing the kid is going to be fucking worried about. Like, I guarantee it. Like, they're going to probably think, oh, you look pretty, you know, and that's probably it. That's probably going to be it. They're probably going to look at the waitress and probably think, oh, you're kind of pretty, okay. I want tendies and a root beer. Like, that's what the kid's gonna fucking think, because frankly, like, I know I've been to restaurants where I've done that, where it's like, oh, hey, I'm like, you know, a 10-year-old, but this waitress looks kind of cute and pretty or whatever the fuck. Yeah, I'm just gonna say it, because I don't give a shit. I'm a kid, and I want some tendies, or I want a burger, or whatever the fuck I'm ordering. Like, I mean, Like, it's whatever. Like, what do you expect out of fucking, like, children? Like, they just immediately know this, like, know what sexuality is and what sex is from the fucking get-go, like, out of the womb. And we must, like, preserve their little, like, tiny, little small body innocence on the virtue that they might, like, you know, tap into it a little too early or some shit. It's like, what? It's like, I mean, again, it says so much more about these fucking weirdos and these traditionalist Puritans more so than anything else. Because, like, I don't have, like, some weird mentality that, like, oh, if a kid happens to, like, go to a Hooters or go to a drag show, they're gonna get, like, groomed or some shit. Like, not once will that ever cross my mind unless there's some specific individual that might be there, which is more likely going to be a family member more than anything. Because if there is anyone grooming children, it's going to be a lot more closer to their family, more so than just some random public event. You know, like an uncle or an older cousin or, you know, some shit like that. Or even the fucking father themselves, maybe. You know, so it's just like, chances are, if, you know, if there is anything happening to a child, it's more likely, you know, in your own fucking circle more than anything.
Very simply, Hooters has over 400 locations operating daily.
Oh, so they even have way less than I thought. They have a little over 400.
And yet you never post about them. Always find time every single Pride to spread vague, contextless, sometimes outright propaganda images demonizing drag, usually following up by calling actual queer people pedos without evidence. And then I put some thinking emojis here, as you can see. And then Shu responded by saying, I'd probably talk about it more if it was a mainstream topic, if it was a mainstream topic constantly.
What? Shu, you stupid bitch. Like, maybe Hooters specifically isn't, but this whole fucking idea about sexualization in society is a fucking mainstream topic, you moron. It literally is. It might not be directed at Hooters specifically as a brand, but the virtue of what they do, and that in itself, which is, you know, maybe some mild titillation or maybe a little, you know, hints of sexuality and sexiness and shit, which honestly, like, you can have that platonically. Like, I mean, you can say something sexy or, you know, and shit like that without, you know, it being inherently, like, you know, a sexualized thing. Like, I mean, you know, like if, you know, a woman's dressed, you know, well, sexy like, I mean, you know, if they're, or a man, you know, for, you know, or whoever, like if somebody's dressed sexy like and shit, that doesn't inherently mean outright sexualization. I mean, it just means they're dressing, you know, very pretty. It expresses their, you know, beauty and their, you know, and their body and shit. Thus, you know, sexy. I mean, it's basically a definition of what, you know, it's like, hey, this is, you know, attractive to the point where I could be sexually compatible with. That's basically just what it means. Like, it's not inherently just like, you know, it's like, oh, fuck, what's fuck? Oh, shit, fuck, god damn it.
But it was actually 150 Facebook followers. I'm sorry for my leftist misinformation there.
It was...
Oh, yes, I know, Saxy Jacks. We're going to get to that. The concept of talking about current events shouldn't be
we're pretty much
demonizing drag.
Yeah, okay, it was right here.
Topic. If it was a mainstream topic constantly on my timeline in the news, when Hooters starts pretending it's super progressive, and we get called reactionary for understandably thinking it's weird.
Because you are a fucking reactionary, you dumb bitch.
Ah, okay, this is me, I say. Ah, okay, I get it, it happens all the time, but you don't care because that type of quote-unquote child abuse isn't quote-unquote trending. No one's shoving anything in your face, which is why you have to dredge up random shit from years bygone or from 50 follower Facebook pages. My bad, I misremembered, it was actually 150 Facebook followers. I'm sorry for my leftist misinformation there. Oh yes, I know, Saxy Jacks, we're gonna get to that. The concept of talking about current events shouldn't be foreign to a political streamer. This is such a weird hill to pass away on. Good luck with this.
Honestly, I do agree with that, but not the way you're saying it, Shu. Like, yeah, this is a weird hill for you to die on. Like, I mean, it's not a weird hill for, you know, someone like Demon Mama to die on, considering that she's for queer liberation and understands the fucking reality that there ain't a goddamn problem with any of this. Like this, I get so like, man, I really do get fucking fired up with this shit every year because of these stupid puritanical fascist motherfuckers. These reactionary dirtbags that think like, oh, I'm not, like, especially the cowards like Shoe on Head and the fucking cowardly bitches that want to be all like, oh, look, I'm not, saying there's nothing wrong with gay people and this like that. I just think you're being a little weird. You got to get back in the closet just a little bit. You can have like a foot out, you can have like, one of your legs out of the closet, but you can't be like entirely out of the closet. Get back in there a little bit. You're too much out of it. Get back in that, just a little bit, okay? Don't mind the people behind me who want to literally shove you in there and then gasoline douse the fucking closet and light it on fire. But don't worry about that. Those type of people behind me that agree with me a little bit here. And, yeah, just go back in there, okay? It's okay. It's like, fuck you.
You spreading propaganda and misleading your audience of kids on YouTube is not current events. Love how vague and euphemistic you have to be. Let's be blunt. Every Pride, you go out of your way to demonize, usually drag, usually with blatant disinfo. You do not have to, but you do. And then we have this one. Well, because y'all can't help but act like dodo birds, defending the most bizarre shit that—
Dodo birds? I just find that more amusing.
would be weirded out every single June. Literally, what misinfo are you even talking about?
Weirded out every single June. Yeah, because guess what? June's the fucking month of where, like, queer people and LGBT use that as, like, their time of the year to, like, be more expressive and be more prideful about who they are as an identity. Because it's very easy for you to, condescend and talk down about that shit, considering that you're fucking cis head. I mean, honestly, it's like, I'm not even saying that ironically. It's like she's, a straight white woman and shit, and she's just like, you fucking queer people just want to, be all too expressive and women. It's like, shut the fuck up. It's like, I mean, it's easy for you to say considering you're vanilla as fuck, like hyper vanilla as fuck, considering you're a tradcon. So it's like, get bent.
To see you defend it. Hey, so why did you leave out this screenshot this time? The one revealing the host of this event has a whopping 150 followers. I've seen no one defend it. I've seen them disagree with your framing and your claims, and then you and your fans call them pedos. Now, it is interesting that she leaves that these are the same photos on her original post, which we can see right here. Same fucking photos, but she left out the one with the numbers. Little odd there, huh? I did include that screenshot in the tweet I made yesterday, but how is this even a defense? Why can't you just agree it's weird and inappropriate? What's stopping you?
It's not weird or inappropriate, oh my god, I hate these people. I fucking hate these people so much.
You're the one pivoting here. I was asking what's stopping you from being honest.
I mean, what's stopping you from going to church, Shoe? Oh, because you used to be part of the atheistic community. It's like, they would redeem you. They love the fucking, like, rebirthed Christian arc. The Christians love that shit. I mean, look at Milo. I mean, come on.
Time pedo hunting the Southern Baptist Church or the Catholic Church, who have a whole lot more victims and more followers than some weirdo's rural drag show with a gross neon light. Thank you very much, Lotta Apples. Deeply appreciate that. Because only one of these things is passed off as good and cool and progressive and defended by people I otherwise agree with. Nope.
Press an X to doubt. Press in some hard X's to doubt there, Shoe, you fucking moron. Like, it's like you say that, like, it's a legitimate, actual fucking problems, with, like, the Catholic Church and a lot of religious, organized institutions in this country when it comes to child sex trafficking and child abuse and so on and so forth. But this one totally benign, innocent thing at an ice cream parlor and shit, that's, like all hyper progressive or something. Like, that's actually, the problem about it. Like, that's where all the sex trafficking and child abuse is going on there. But, like, one of these is actually a problem, but the other one, actually, it really isn't, because I'm kind of a tradicon fucking dumb bitch that, wants to fucking be a homophobic moron, and hyperventilize about, like, these fucking Christo-fascists and venerate their shit. And just, be like, oh, well, you can't be too weird about it. Get back in the class. It's like, you fucking dumb bitch. I can't believe anyone takes fucking Shoe on Head seriously, like, whatsoever. Like, she doesn't have an original thought in her head. She's a fucking grifter to the fucking right wing, especially the Christo far-right fascist motherfuckers. Every goddamn June, especially. She goes out of her way to do it. She's just a dumb fucking cunt.
Until you falsely conflating it with pride in general. Your message
at least I'm a skeptic is still fucking respectable.
If you thought this 150-person event was bad, contact the venue. Go visit the event and do journalism or something. But no. And then Shu says, go visit the event and do journalism or something. You can say this about anything. Again, I don't know why people
Really? I mean, honestly, yeah, sure. But considering that you're the one who gets all hyper butthurt and hyper fucking offended and all, like, you know, freaked out over the fact that just drag queens and trans people and queer people exist and shit, even though you agree with them usually, supposedly. So, you know, it's just like, yeah, you go out of your way to basically, you know, fucking avoid actually, you know, confronting the real fucking issue about it. It's like, why don't you go to a pride event then, Shu? Actually see what the fuck it's about and see how weird it really is. I have, and there's nothing fucking wrong with them. Like, unless you go specifically to, like, Folsom Pride or something, like one that's literally overtly, explicitly sexual and shit, which at that point, if you're taking kids to that, you're a fucking idiot. You know, it's just like, I mean, there's a very staunch, it's like there's very staunch, you know, differences between, like, a Folsom versus, like, you know, some casual, like, drag party at a fucking ice cream parlor, or, like, you know, some, you know, gay pride bike event, or, you know, some shit like that. Like, because those are fucking family-friendly events. But guess what? At the same time, there can also be very adult ones, but no one's taking their goddamn kids to that, and even then, they usually get turned away. And it's like, why are your kids here? Get out of here. Like, go away. We don't want we don't want your kids here. Like, usually they're turned away because they recognize that, yeah, one, we don't need the issues, and two, you're kind of a fucking moron for bringing your kid here. Go away.
How much longer are you going to not call things out on fear of giving the other side ammo? You even defended Prostasia. I'm saying literally anything other than what, and then I'm literally saying anything other than what you do would be good. You screen capping some 150 follower event, implying there's pedophilia going on because of a gross neon sign, and then conflating it with all of Pride is grossly irresponsible. And of course,
that's not just irresponsible. I mean, that, like, I mean, again, like, back in the fucking 30s and shit, just before the Nazis even fully codified their power and shit, there was legit even higher ups who were homosexuals themselves, and who were queer themselves and shit, and partook in a lot of these different types of parties and different types of events and shit themselves. And, you know, and because there was enough, especially within a Hitler's faction of things, who were just like, well, you know what, this type of gentry is a little too far. Boo. And eventually they all just ran them off and fucking made sure that they were dealt with as a fucking problem against the degeneracy amongst society. Like, luckily I don't think it would get that far, hopefully, again. But considering the fact there's a lot of far-right Christian fascists that constantly, every fucking day, every month, don't matter if it's Pride or not, cry about this type of shit about how the trans people are grooming kids and this and that and other garbage. And then you got dumb bitches like Shu, you know, want to, like, exacerbate this shit and enable it even fucking further. You know, especially during times of June, around Pride Month. It's like, yeah, it's like, oh, you're just being gaslit? Oh, you just think it's a little weird? It's like, get fucked.
This resulted in a lot of people jumping on board. This exchange, of course, is rather heated, and a lot of people jumped on board. But honestly,
I mean, that ain't necessarily the important part. Let's skip around a little bit. You need to see why this is such a fucking problem. Oh! Is that Tucker Carlson? Oh! What? It got national?
Through the right-wing pipeline all the way up to Tucker Carlson. So
what?
Now we have Tucker...
Oh, I thought it was just like a weird little internet drama thing.
Tucker Carlson blowing up a completely innocuous event based off of propaganda that was initially spread by people like Shoe on Head and other weird anonymous channers, but predominantly large accounts like
Channers
on Head. But it gets worse, okay? Because I'm going to show you some footage from a drag event that was in the same city, okay? Let's just, and again, this is the moment where I say huge trigger warning to what's going to be said here, because what we're...
And this is going to be some nice juicy shit. And honestly, this is why, I get so fucking flared up, even to, if it's just some internet shit. At least when it comes to this type of fucking issue, because it's very fucking real. Because I don't think it just happened in the same city in Dallas, I think is where it happened. I think it's that same fucking ice cream parlor. And it's, quite frankly, insane.
Is, well, quite a lot of horrible shit. Now keep in mind that this is at a very, I don't know if this is at the same event. Is it the same venue? Okay, it's the same, literal same venue that all of this freakout was happening. And I want you to just pay attention to what this resulted in. What posts like shoe on heads, what irresponsible fear-mongering like the type engaged in by shoe on head leads to. Ready? Okay, trigger warning, everybody.
Kind of figured.
Here we go.
That.
So, first of all, let's take note. Right here is none other than John.
Oh, and by the way, before we get too, she also kind of partially spoiled it, but yeah. So there literally is now like fucking mass Christo-fascist, protests and shit, and you can see their fucking Christo-fascist flags waving around too in the background. The little white flag of like that little red cross and the blue square and shit. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, that's just like a Christo-fascist fucking flag as far as I'm concerned.
Everybody remember John Doyle? That's him. That's
yes, and also you can kind of see him in his little suit and his little bright ocean Caribbean blue suit, little shirt, right next to this weird, like, I'm assuming it says protect, but just, it's the P's out, so it looks protect. Protect the kids! But yeah, John Doyle's there. And chanting and groomer, fucking, doing their fucking Christo-fascist shit. Like, I mean, frankly, as far as I'm concerned, like, this is why this shit's, especially gets me so fucking flared up. They can't necessarily do, the shit like they do to Matthew Shepard anymore, do, like, outright, fucking violence against these people and shit. But, they want, they could do this. They could do pretty much everything but that.
For your sin! So that's a crowd of people screaming, groomers, groomers, groomers. You people are disgusting. Repent for your sin. Oh, but that's not the end of it, by the way. Not even close. Not even close. Let's take a listen here. This is John Doyle speaking himself.
The sheriff's in Texas today.
Listen to this. Now it's hard
I can't really hear it.
to make out.
There's a transcript to it, I think.
But I want you to listen very closely.
Reagan Street.
That's what the
I heard that's what the badgers are for.
Let's get that transcript. Go
Go in there and put bullets in all their heads. That's what the badges are for. See what I mean? They want to, but they can't, so they can do everything but that. But people like John Doyle and people like, these far-right Christo-fascists would love, to see pretty much like, a mass execution and a mass, killing of these type of fucking queer people. They just, they want to. They would yearn for it. Luckily, they can't really outright do it. So, that's why I'm not necessarily gonna fucking be like, oh my god, they're gonna, like, tomorrow they're going to, and all that shit like that. I mean, I'm not gonna be that fear-mongering to it. But, again, this is what they fucking believe, though. It is what they believe, and it is what they want. But, in a society like ours now, I mean, even with, a lot of the entrenched homophobic, transphobic type of shit that's still, vast throughout the country and shit, I mean, it's not going to be an outright, ability to just do something like that, because, I mean, no one wants to outright see just a bunch of random people killed, outright, luckily. I mean, I guess, despite all of our problems, we somewhat still have a conscience, I guess. I mean, a little bit in this country, but not really. It's fragmented or broken and hypocritical as fuck, but, I mean, it's there, I guess. So it's like, yeah, we'll be hateful, bigoted against, you know, gay, queer, trans people, and if it happens very selectively, you know, when it comes to them dying, yeah, that's okay. But a mass killing of them, step too far there. We gotta stop this. It's like, I mean, it's broken, it fragmented to fucking shit, but, you know, hey. I gotta at least take that for what it's worth.
Bullets in all of their heads. That's what the badge is for, he said, addressing the Texas fucking police. And there's a whole lot more in this thread. We can go in here, we can listen to all of
There's a
it.
gentleman who's refusing to use the bar
Alex, move on, you weirdo.
They won't let us in.
Alex Stein, move on, you weirdo. Alex, move on. Alex, get away from
Oh my god. It's like they won't let us in, they're bigots. By the way, they're a bunch of groomers, you know, having kids in drag, blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh my god, dude. The fact that these people are just barely trying to hold you back from going in there is the least that you fucking deserve, you outright worthless, parasitical, subhuman piece of garbage shit. Oh, no. Okay, I'm biting the rest of that. I'm biting my tongue on the rest of that shit. Fuck these people.
Alex!
Screaming about how they're grooming children in here. They're grooming children. Just lying. Just openly lying and filming this and putting this up on the video. Accusing people of literally harming children.
Get out of the way! Get out of the way! Leave the kids alone!
What's even happening here? Oh, so you got a bunch of people like harassing a couple activists who were there, or maybe just were a part of it, but now are just getting being confronted by these people. Man, this person's just saying leave him alone, trying to push him back. I mean, honestly, the fact that they're gigantic beer-bellied fucks, I mean, is honestly probably why they're not being budged at all. Considering the other person is very small. I mean, but it's just like, that's why you just fucking take a swing at their leg or some shit. Just kick their fucking knee, they'll go down. They'll leave them alone then, because they ain't getting up after that.
Thank you, Cheeto.
Leave the kids alone! Hey, leave the kids alone!
So there's a family that's attempting to leave, and these people alongside Andy Nyo are chasing.
Oh, Andy Ngo's there too? Oh my god, Jesus! Now I really wish I was fucking there.
Family.
My god, these fucking fascist motherfuckers, man.
Two masked activists get in the way. Let's keep watching. Let's find out.
And the cops protect them too.
I don't deserve to be your child! That is disgusting!
Jeez, the audio on these things. They're either kind of quiet or too loud.
Why are you hiding from the crowd? Why would you do that? Chill out.
Oh my god, this guy I guarantee you is drunk. This fat fuck right there, like in that shirt, like that weird red maroon shirt, is definitely fucking drunk. Because he's literally confronting everybody. Like, he's harassing the oh my god, dude, Jesus Christ. Like, this person, like, his face needs to have a nice, good, welcoming party to the concrete. Let's just put it that way.
Chill out! Hey! No, you can't walk through people! You cannot walk through people! Hey!
I'm a drunk, racist, fucking transphobic bigot. I can fucking do what I want. Fuck you. I'm drunk. I can bark whoever the fuck I want. You goddamn trans, fuck you. Like, guarantee you that's what he's thinking. It's like, I can bark whoever I want, you son of a bitch, you queero weirdo.
Let me see if I can get this other one. Oh, here we go.
As much as a mockery they are, they're just as dangerous.
He says, you should know, there's a pedophile show going on in there. That's what he's telling people outside the event.
Jesus.
No one cares. Go back to the side of the street. No one cares. No one cares. Go back.
I'm guessing the person recording the actual video is one of the other activists and trying to over microphone the other one. Oh my god. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, oh wait, what was that? Oh god, I'm gonna have to look at that. But I saw the last second of that notification, something about praising Hitler. I was like, wait, what? But motherfucker. Well, that's just another example about, like, the rise of fascism and shit, and how, like, you know, Nazis are unironically, like, a growing phenomenon again. Like, yeah, vindication there. But what I was gonna say is, like, sometimes, like, because I've been to these before, like, where there's back and forth of microphones and shit like that, it's like, or at least with, like, some megaphones and shit, it's like, oh my god. Sometimes they can get a little annoying, because it's like, you got so much annoyance of, like, 4 or 5 megaphones going off at once, you know, like, all yelling different shit, and it's like, Jesus Christ. Why can't it just be only 1 or 2? And 2's more than enough.
Cares. No one cares. Go. Remember, mistakes please care. Never let it down to anyone who lets your protection. Or you don't stop your tragedy, no stop
This is really quiet.
I can't make it out in there, but this guy, according to this transcript, says that he doesn't trust the woman cop because she's a lesbian.
Wow, so there's a cop that happens to be queer herself, and it's not, I don't trust that one. They're not doing enough around here because they got one within their ranks. I don't trust these people. I don't trust Blue no more. They let these fucking weird queeros inside.
Here that I had.
It's like, Jesus fucking Christ. I mean, this is why I get such a fucking fundamental problem with these worthless pieces of shit. Because, like, yeah, I mean, it might just be a little, you know, a little Twitter argument here and there with, you know, dumb moronic bitches like Shoe on Head and shit, but it always goes down the fucking pipeline, you know, to fucking people like Tucker Carlson, thus rabble-rouses the fucking crystal fascists even more, and they take action. So, this, I mean, it's just the fundamental result of what the fuck happens with this stupid shit. So, fuck these people, and fuck stupid absolute moronic piece of shit like Shoe on Head that think like, well, you know, it's just like, I'm okay with them, and usually I agree with these people, but, I mean, you know, it's a little weird. I mean, come on now. It's like, just fuck them. They ain't worth the goddamn time and day. Like, we already know what their fucking ideas are, so shut them the fuck down. Like, they ain't worth it. And, frankly, never will be. I mean, that's why they really deserve nothing but the fucking scorn and shit. And when when somebody decides to be like, well, I don't know about this, like, then just like, yeah, have the back and forth with them and make sure to shut the fuck down regardless. Because, I mean, that's all they deserve and all they should get. Wait, buddy. Get away from that. No. No. Little goofy baby. Oh, look at you. Just a sweet boy. Just a little sweet boy. Yes, you is. My goodness. Oh, but I feel like I got a pretty decent amount of my frustration out, though. Said what had to be said with that stupid shit. Cause frankly, it's just like, this shit gets me so goddamn fucking fired up. And it's like, you know, queer people and the LGBT alike have always been trying to fucking fight back against this type of shit endlessly every fucking year. And it's always been, you know, something that, you know, is been a very historic struggle, like, you know, from Stonewall and, and to today and shit, you know, with people who've luckily have had their names remembered and shit, at least, you know, like Matthew Shepard, despite, you know, what happened to him, because it's a reminder of what, you know, of what people are capable of when it comes to the bigotry against queer people and shit. So, I mean, it's just like, it just gets me fucking fired up. get this one bowl smoked. I'm actually gonna get my paycheck, and honestly, speaking of which, if the class action suit that my union did anything about the company's lying and prolonging of implementing the wages and shit, they should be in with this paycheck. So honestly, like, for later tonight, I might either come back, relatively happy or pretty pissed off. Like, it'll probably be one or the other.
What?
Oh, just grab my paycheck later.
You said happy or pissed off.
Well, because with the class action suit that the union filed against the company because they were not implementing the wages at all for, to just drag on, implementing a contract and shit. From my understanding, it should be this week the last week when it was filed in that they got implemented. So they should be raised up this week, from my understanding. Or at least that's what everyone understands about it. And also there was, like, an email notification about it and everything, so I know, like, the whole suit and shit did happen. Or is happening, so. It's more about, like, just finding out, what the results are about that.
Andrew's like, if it happened, it happened. If it didn't, fuck 'em!
Yeah, because at that point, I'm gonna make a couple phone calls and shit like that.
That's where I'd be going with that.
But anyway, I'll be back later tonight, so